Welcome back to ARSWHU News TV, and we have another video today where we talk about the game of Arsenal versus West Ham, which ended in a 2-1 win to Arsenal at the Emirates. So it was a very interesting game as there were a lot of things to talk about. So hopefully you stay tuned throughout the whole video, and make sure you subscribe, share and like below. Also comment any other video suggestions. The predictions video will come up tomorrow or the next week. So hopefully you guys will enjoy it. Take care, guys. So it was a 2-1 win to Arsenal, and with Lacazette with the first goal and Eddie Nketiah with the second goal, it led to Arsenal winning 2-1, even though Mikel scored right before half time. In my opinion, Arsenal got very lucky in that game. They were very lackluster. They were not as they were against Fulham. I think they were saving the energy for Leicester, and it looks like they were very lucky in that game. Very, very lucky in my opinion. They were playing very bad, but I feel sorry for West Ham as they did have their chances. They could have easily went 2-3 up in the second half, and they just had an even game throughout the first half, but in the second half, Arsenal's quality paid off at the end. Even though they had an amazing performance, in my opinion, with their least recent performance against Newcastle, West Ham did look quite decent. They put in a lot of crosses and were causing trouble for Arsenal. So it ended up with a 2-1 win to Arsenal. However, Arsenal got very, very lucky. So now we'll go into the match ratings. First of all, we have burnt Leno. In my opinion, he had a below average game. He was dropping the ball at many occasions, and he made me kind of regret selling Emiliano Martinez. He looked a bit shaky all throughout the game until we got the second goal. He was very shaky. He did make one good save, but he was spilling the ball so many times, and I feel as though it's been one of his really bad performances. So for this game, I feel as though he deserves a 4. So I think he might be one of the lower ratings of this game, but I feel as though he deserves a 4. Next up, we have xhaka, and in my opinion, he also had a poor game as well. Even though he was young, he was trying to get the ball, he was doing the usual things, he was pressing a lot, he was trying very hard for the team, but overall his performance was bang average as well. It was better than burnt Leno, but he was more of the attacking, flying sort of left wing back role. He was playing in more of a central role, which wasn't suited to him, but for me, he deserves a 5. Next up, we have Kolasinac, and for me, his performance was poor. I hated him with every move he done. He made me just regret losing Tierney to an injury so much that I just realized we have to sell this guy as soon as possible. He was shocking, but I feel as though he did do certain good parts by getting the ball up front, but that chance he had, he just spilled it. He was just bang average as well. He was just awful, and he also gets a 5. Next up, we have Gabriel. He was the best out of the 3 centre-backs in my opinion. He was getting with the aerial duels. He did do key blocks, but he had a little bit of shaky starts as well. But obviously it's West Ham, it's going to be a tough game. It's a London derby, but he did cope well as he did make vital blocks, and for me his performance deserves him a 6. He was one of the better out of Kolasinac and Holding, but in my opinion he deserves a 6 for his game. Next up, we have Rob Holding, and to be honest, he did his business well as well. He was defending well, he was doing crucial blocks, but for me, he was better than Kolasinac, but at the same time, pretty much at the same level as Gabriel. But in my opinion, him and Gabriel were probably fighting for the best centre-back of that game. No way was it Kolasinac, but he did his part, and for me, he also deserves a 6. So for his performance, he would deserve a 6. Next up, we have Hector Bellerin, and he was playing more in the central role as well. He was tucking in quite a lot, but for me, his overall positioning was horrendous. He was at certain times just running back while the team was in good solid shape. He was more like the free right back, more playing like a free 8 in my mind. And for me, he wasn't good as well. He was bang average. For me, he also deserves a 5. So we have Xhaka, And for me, he had a poor game today, a really poor game. In my opinion, he was very poor. All his distribution was off point. His passes were always messing up. He just didn't get a single right pass today. And for me, he was one of the poorer players, just like Leno. I feel as though he also deserves a 4. Even though I'm not a fan of xhaka, but I feel as though I've been correct in my predictions, like his ratings, and I'm not going any bias against you, but I feel as though today he deserves a 4. So we have Dani Ceballos, and for me, he was in a good return to Arsenal with his first game after the new season. And I feel as though he was poor as well. He will probably deserve a 4 as well, but in my opinion, that one vital block he did make, he ran across to prevent Haller from shooting. So I feel as though he deserves a 5 instead of a 4, but the midfield today was poor. So we have Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. For me, even after signing the contract, it was one of his poorer games. But you can see when the instinct comes, he will do what he delivers. I think I'm not being over predicted this guy's score, but I feel as though he deserves a 6 because that assist was such a beautiful assist. He just done what he needed to do. He just pops off at the key moments, and I feel as though he just done his work well. And I feel as though it wasn't amazing. I would lean to a 5, but I feel as though you can't rate him the same as Kolasinac, but I'll give him a 6. Next up is Alexandre Lacazette. He had a alright game as he got another goal against West Ham in another derby. He seems to be always scoring well in derbies, and I feel as though he had a decent game, in my opinion. He did do all the hard work, getting the ball back and everything. But I feel as though for his performance, he lies between a 6 and a 7. But I feel as though he's probably the man of the match, other than Nketiah. But I feel as though I'm leaning towards a 6 now, because I feel as though Nketiah deserves it more. So I feel as though for his 70 minutes he played, practically, he deserves a 6. So we have Willian, and I feel as though it was one of his poorer games today. He just didn't perform well, but he did do the certain things right. He did press quite a lot. He did do the certain passes, but he just didn't want to attack as much as he did always. Like before against Fulham, he was like running past the defenders, but now he was just a bit more tracked back. He was just staying more reserved in his place. He was slow down. Everyone was a bit sluggish today, and I feel as though for me he deserves a 5 as well. So that is my match ratings for the game of Arsenal against West Ham. Hopefully you guys agree with my scores, and make sure you guys do hit the subscription button, because it will mean a lot to me, and hit the notification bell to see when I upload, and like and comment below any problems you have and any ideas. So take care guys, bye bye. Comment ratings below if you made it this far. Hopefully you guys subscribe, like and comment below any other suggestion videos. The predictions will come tomorrow or the next week. Take care guys.